GCF's first performance review that was undertaken by the Independent Evaluation Unit in 2019. It was considered by the board at its 23rd meeting that was held here in Songdo. We brought away 4 key recommendations in the FPR, or the first performance review of the GCF. The first one was that the GCF needed to improve its own implementation structures and business processes. The second one was that it really needed to understand as to how it could focus much more on adaptation than it was currently doing. The third one was that it needed to build an updated strategic plan that had the vision and that showed the GCF off as a leader in the thought space in climate. And last but not least, we also indicated that the GCF Secretariat had evolved sufficiently so that it could be delegated authority to. The GCF's first replenishment was a very successful replenishment. I think many board members and other contributors in this space also indicated to us that the FPR, or the Forward-Looking Performance Review, was a major contributor in also reassuring them that there was a strong institution within the GCF, that is the IEU, that was there constantly to understand the strategic landscape and to help the GCF move forward in very positive ways. The updated strategic plan that is now being considered by the board takes on many of the recommendations that we have made in the Forward-Looking Performance Review, including in terms of business processes, including in terms of the focus on adaptation, as well as thinking about how the GCF can be a leader in the climate space. It is clear that the performance review is going to be and has become already a very important part of the GCF's thinking on its replenishment. It is also true that the forward-looking performance review is something that is requested and asked for and looked forward to by many of our stakeholders. In preparation for the second forward-looking performance review that will start in earnest after a board decision next year, we have started to already prepare our component evaluations. So 2 evaluations that we've just finished and submitted to the board are, the first one is on the simplified approval process, which is a very important modality for the GCF. And the second one is looking at the GCF's accreditation function. Both of these contribute in very significant ways in not just to the reputation of the GCF, but also its internal business processes. By the end of the year, we will finish 2 other evaluations, which again will contribute and become components of the second forward-looking performance review. The first one focuses on the small island developing states. And the second one is looking at the GCF's relevance and its work with respect to adaptation. Both of these are going to be very important as we go forward. And once we start to work earnestly for the second performance review, we will be using these as inputs into that evaluation, but also looking at the vast variety of other issues that the GCF currently is dealing with, including other vulnerable countries such as Africa and least developed countries. Thank you.